Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Taekook Cherry, love that doesn't burn but lights slowly. In an era when love has to go viral to be considered real, the story of Taehyung and Jungkook was born like an old song that can only be played in the hearts of those who secretly hope. Their love is not New Year's firecrackers that split the sky, but like fireflies in a quiet forest, dim, quiet, but cannot be ignored. They never said, "Look at us." But the universe said, "Feel them." Jungkook loves Taehyung like the sky loves the stars, never able to truly embrace, but never ceasing to be a home. His love is not a series of sweet captions on Instagram, but a soft prayer when the night is too quiet. "I hope you sleep well tonight." Sometimes just one quiet sentence like, "I am here and all the storms in my chest can calm down." He is not a poet. But when he mentions Taehyung's name, the world knows, a verse has been created. They live in a rhythm that the world does not understand, with small signals, secret languages, and silence that is never empty. Jungkook doesn't say much, but behind his silence there's a hug that was never given, a song that was never recorded. The heart emoji that was sent isn't just an icon, it's a pulse that beats in digital form. When the world looks for evidence, they present a puzzle. When fans are busy looking for visual evidence, the universe gives emotional clues. Like when distance separates them, but the shirts they wear are the same. The world calls it a coincidence. But love is never that simple. Maybe it's not a coincidence, it's a Morse code that only the two of them understand. And when Jungkook said he regretted not being able to come to the concert that Taehyung attended, the world read it as an absence. In fact, for Jungkook, it was a presence that couldn't be realized. He wanted to be where Taehyung's laughter exploded and his eyes lit up like a child discovering the world. They weren't just friends. They were a small universe that continued to grow in silence. And the universe, of course, recorded all of that. In Wishik silence that only followed two names, Taehyung and Jungkook. In Peak Boy's choice to become a DJ not because of protocol, but because of a calling from the heart. In a simple repost from Taehyung's childhood friend, which seems to say, "I see, I know." The red thread between them is not sewn by human hands, but by fate that gently twists the timeline. And in the corner of the stage stands a figure named Jin. He is not a narrator. He is not a commentator. He is a loyal audience who never goes home before the curtain closes. He keeps everything, their laughter, their silence, their awkwardness, their disguised longing. He does not ask, does not force. He just understands. Jin is the night sky that silently embraces two stars that are searching for each other. He knows that not all love must be announced. Some love just needs a place to grow. And Jin, with his serene smile, is that secret garden. Jungkook knows that loving Taehyung is about learning to wait without promises. He never asks for anything in return, because true love makes no demands. He just wants to be the place where Taehyung can come home when the world is too noisy, when the spotlight starts to feel blinding. Taehyung understands. He doesn't need Jungkook's grand words. He just needs an unchanging presence. Like an old wooden chair on the balcony of an old house, not flashy, not shiny, but always there, always loyal. There are times when they sit side by side in silence. No music, no loud laughter. Just presence. And that presence is louder than all the songs they've ever sung. In a world where everything has to be labeled, their love chooses to be a puzzle. Not because they're ashamed, but because some love can only grow in silence, in a place where the eyes can't see, but the heart can recognize. When Jungkook uploaded a short video of flowers swaying in the wind, Taehyung replied with a photo of the twilight sky. No explanation. No tags. But for them it was the most honest conversation they could have. Their love didn't ask the world to understand. But it grew anyway, in between songs, in the occasional flash of a camera, or in a look in their eyes that spoke more than 1,000 words. At a concert, Jungkook ran across the stage and paused for a moment beside Taehyung. His smile was wide, his eyes sparkling. The world saw it as a moment of fan service. But for them it was a small celebration of a love that burned brightly, even in the crowd. They hid their love not out of fear, but out of respect. They knew that something seen too often loses its magic. And their love, oh their love, was too sacred to be made a spectacle of. When Taehyung talked about the song he wrote, he said it was inspired by someone who makes him feel at peace. Jungkook looked down at it, but his smile couldn't be hidden. He knew the song was his. And when the nights got too late, sometimes they would just exchange breaths on the phone. No long conversations. Just silence that soothed each other. Sometimes that 1 second was enough to fill 1,000 voids. Taehyung keeps all of Jungkook's photos in a hidden album. Not because he wants to hide them, but because he wants to keep them for himself. True love isn't always on display. Sometimes it just needs to be kept, cared for, and protected. Jungkook keeps a voice note from Taehyung that says, "Take care of yourself." He plays it when his heart is fragile. And every time he hears it, he feels whole again. They are two different seasons. Taehyung is like autumn, full of color, sometimes melancholy. Jungkook is like spring, calm, yet full of life. But when they are together, those seasons no longer have boundaries. Amidst the demands of their schedules, they steal time from each other. Not for a fancy vacation, but for a cup of coffee, a little laugh, or just to watch the sunset from the studio window. Their love doesn't come with background music. But if it had to be given a song, it would be a slow melody that only two hearts that know each other can hear. They are not a couple in a Korean drama. They are an unfinished poem, with each line being a day spent together. And even though they never expressed their love openly, the world knew. Because true love always finds a way to shine, even without the spotlight. Sometimes love comes in the simplest forms. Like a quick hug before going on stage, or a light touch on the shoulder when one of you is feeling tired. And that's what they had, simple but irreplaceable. When they were in different countries, time seemed to slow down. But a short message like, "Have you eaten?" or "How's the weather there?" became a bridge between two hearts that always wanted to be close. They loved in silence, but their silence was full of echoes. The echoes were not heard by everyone, only by those who really listened. In an interview, Jungkook smiled when asked about his biggest dream. He answered briefly, "To be able to live peacefully with someone who makes me comfortable." No name. But his gaze drifted towards Taehyung's seat. And the world, which is quite sensitive, recorded it. Taehyung once said in a live, "Sometimes we don't need many people. One is enough as long as they can understand." That night, Jungkook uploaded a story with a picture of a crescent moon. No words, but Taehyung responded with a heart emoji. In their language, that was more than enough. When rumors started to come, they didn't deny it, but they didn't confirm it either. Because for them, the truth isn't something that has to be explained to the world. It's enough to be felt by two people who live it. They walk side by side not to be seen, but because that's where they should be. Like two leaves drifting in the same current, sometimes separated for a moment, but always meeting again at one point. In Taehyung's dream, there was Jungkook's voice calling his name. In Jungkook's song, there was a tune that could only be captured by a heart that knew Taehyung. They live on a frequency that logic can't explain. Jungkook is where Taehyung can be himself, without a filter, without a mask. And Taehyung is the reason Jungkook never gives up on the hard days. They're not just love. They're reminders of each other. When Taehyung's birthday comes, Jungkook is always the first to say it. Not with a party, not with a bouquet of flowers, but with the most honest words, "I'm glad you were born." And for Taehyung, that's more than enough. Their relationship isn't for everyone to understand, but to be appreciated. Because behind the scenes, behind the stage, they care for each other more than can be seen. And in the end, maybe they'll never say we're together. But the world doesn't need that confession. The world just sees the way Jungkook looks at Taehyung, and knows love is standing there. Taekook isn't an ordinary love story. Theirs is a story that doesn't burn, but keeps burning. Like a cherry blossom that blooms in the wrong season, rare, delicate, and never fails to make the heart believe that love still exists. Even if he has to grow up in silence.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.